I want to buy a Snickers bar off that guy.
He branded himself in a way that just screams scam.
He's taken so much money from people and just doesn't care and still keeps going.
How many industries is this guy a professional in?
Who's the scam of the day today?
I mean, we're going to have to go with Tai Lopez today.
So I know I that's what I feel he is. What do you think?
Oh, right off the bat, huh?
Right off the bat. I'm not messing around.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, see, the way you brand yourself is key, right? Because he branded himself in a way that just screams scam, right?
Among other words, I would say, but
Exactly.
100%.
And that's what we want to talk about in this episode. Like, there are things that you do not want to do. I mean, unless your goal is to just rip off a bunch of people and get as much money up front as possible, then you don't care about your reputation for the rest of your life. Then, I mean, yeah, his business model works, but those people that have been around the industry, business, marketing for a while, they know what a person like him is, right? Like
The fake.
Yeah, I mean, they are clearly, they know before they buy anything from him, right? When there's a start, they already kind of know how to read the red flags, as we call them, right? You can kind of see where this is going. And then after they are exposed, then it's like, would these people buy or want to partner, like the true entrepreneurs, the people that have, you know, actually successful businesses, not like the people that are inexperienced and are just starting out, that these guys like to target right off the bat, the actual entrepreneurs, as I like to call them. Like, would they ever want to be partnered with someone like that?
I know 100% no, they wouldn't. I mean, if I saw him on the street, I wouldn't even want, like, if he tried stopping me to talk to me, I'd be like, dude, keep walking. I got, like, there's nothing. I wouldn't even want to be pictured with this guy. That's how bad of a nasty, like, negative feeling I have towards him, because just all the cumulative things he's done over the years that have been just so shady. It's pretty disgusting, you know, like, he's taken so much money from people and just doesn't care and still keeps going.
Oh, he still keeps on going. Like, right now, I was on his YouTube channel like yesterday or 2 days ago, and I was just curious if he's still around, and he's still going back to his, you know, drawing, trying to educate people how to do this, how to do that. And I don't know what he's doing exactly now because I didn't go into specifics, but how many industries is this guy a professional in? Huh?
He's apparently this guy knows everything about everything.
Clearly.
And yet not one business has legally, sure, he maybe filled out LLCs or whatever and like bought things later on, but from day one, like we were just talking about this earlier, where did he start? He showed up out of nowhere, like out of thin air. This guy shows up, and like people who know him, maybe not so much now because he's not like in the limelight, but 7-8 years ago when he was in his like prime, the video here in my garage showcasing his Lamborghini and then like talking about the books that he reads. Where did he come from? What business did he start before that?
He did start some things.
If
when
you
we
look,
digging.
if you look and dig, he had what was it, those dating websites that he was just scamming people on there too.
Yeah, like
memberships.
Exactly, because I did start digging into him because obviously a guy like that popping out of nowhere, we're in the marketing world, growing companies, you kind of want to look into it because it's like, whoa, he knows something you don't if he knows how to basically promote himself like that. So you want to start digging in and learning a little bit about the guy, right? That's when we bought his 67 or 63 steps, whatever it was, just to see like his funnels and like what is he doing to convert people, which again, we'll share our opinion about that. But yeah, I mean, we found out that it was the dating websites that he was like trying to scam people. They would sign up for the memberships or something along those lines,
They sign up for a free trial and then
or get credits to message people or something like that.
And they were all fake
Bots.
bot accounts, fake accounts. And then if you tried canceling, like say it was, I don't remember exact specifics, but it's 7 or 14-day trial, and you cancel 24 hours in, obviously you got plenty of time that you're not going to get charged.
Right. And he would still charge
You couldn't
hundreds of
nobody
dollars.
Yeah, nobody would get in contact you. There was no customer support. They would charge you and keep charging you. And all these people left reviews saying I had to close down credit cards.
This is what's online. Like, I don't know if it's probably still there. You could Google it.
Right.
That's what we found, right? Because we've never used these sites, so we can't confirm for sure. But that's like what we learned about the guy.
People were canceling their credit cards, canceling debit cards, closing bank accounts, and reopening things because apparently he just didn't stop charging and taking money.
So now knowing that, before you buy anything from him, right? Like, doesn't matter, courses, coaching, whatever else
you can't
he has,
believe it. You
right?
can't believe he's
Would
just
you
a shady
buy
person.
anything from a guy like that when you have all this stuff online right off the bat? Like, what's your opinion at him at that time? You read all these things online about the guy, and now he's trying to sell you something.
Scam.
Scam, right?
You think, yeah. Stupidly, we looked past that and we were sucked into
But we didn't buy anything from him except
Just
that
some-
one thing.
that, and I think maybe one other ebook or whatever, but it was a low amount of money. It wasn't a lot, and we got something physical out of it. So it's not like we got scammed because we got information in a sense from him and like a physical ebook or whatever or book. But after that, it was just constant crap, nonstop. And on top of it all, the mansion that he lived in LA was like 50 or 60K a month, if not more. What business do you have to back this up? There's no way you were selling enough coaching or whatever it was.
Well, when I
to
read
pay for
into
that.
it, I mean, yeah, that was like he started selling after he already had that place, right? So
Right.
the only thing that made sense to me is he either scammed a lot of people to have that initial, money. Maybe he from the dating websites, right? Maybe his marketing company before he started going big, maybe it was making some money somehow, given I don't know if he actually helped people, scam people, whatever it may be. Maybe he had some money that way to afford it. I mean, it has to be a lot of money because a place like that is not cheap. Or the third option would be to have some kind of
Investors.
investor, right?
Yeah.
To back it, come for it. Like he would go to them, be like, I got this master plan, front this mansion. So we're going to, look.
I'll be the face.
Yeah, I'll be the face, and we're going to, make as much money as possible selling the digital courses. So, I mean, that's how I think that happened. But during all that time, like he kept branding himself in a way that I don't think you should brand yourself. If you want to be in business and not scam someone and look at the short term, like that is just not the way you want to go about it. Because like I mentioned earlier, like a lot of people that are actually legit will never want to be in business of any sort with a guy like that, right? And what's even crazier though is like there's still people that are, in my opinion, somewhat half and half. Maybe I kind of still see them legit, but I still see a little bit of red flags with them. And then they will tell him or people like him, come on my show. You know what I mean? And what I don't like about that is I still don't know if they're legit or scam. Like I'm still in the middle between them. But what I don't like about that is they're giving a voice to people like that, and
When they're cross promoting with other marketers and stuff like that, you're saying?
yeah, I mean, basically they're giving them a voice so that someone can learn about who this person is and buy their stuff without knowing the facts, So I think that's not cool. And there are big influencers or podcasters that do that. You know, they will, just because someone is like being hyped in the media. Right now, there's actually a very, very big one. Andrew Tate, you've probably seen him. He's like everywhere. And his, like, this is my personal opinion. Like, we will probably make a video on that some other time. But like the stuff that he says, no, you know, like to me, it's like, would you want your kids growing up listening to something like that?
One of my nephews mentioned his name several months ago, and I shot over a look at him, and I was like, do you watch his stuff? And he kind of like freaked out because I had like not a good look on my face.
Right.
And he was like, like I've seen a video or two, and I'm like, you are never to watch his crap again.
Yeah, unless you're like 30 years old and you want to watch it for comedy, because that's what I would take it as.
Sure.
There is like stuff that he says that are obviously, you know, smart.
But not a 10-year-old kid. I don't even know if I would go there.
Because you don't know what they're going to take with that information and do, right?
I personally wouldn't say anything he says is smart.
And I haven't watched enough to also say that. But we will watch a little bit of his stuff now to make a comment on what we think of the guy. But yeah, I mean, that's what I don't like. And there was another big podcaster that I kind of like, but he brings them onto the show. And I didn't watch this episode because it was long, but just giving him his voice and exposing him to so many
just another
new people,
platform,
right?
Yeah.
It's like, that's not cool. You want to, like, that's why people like that get canceled, you know, from legit businesses, right? Like Coke, you'll lose your sponsorship if some idiot says something stupid, right? Like, and these guys are bringing them onto their shows because they know what it's going to get them views. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice money, revenue, whatever it is. But if you have like no values or anything like that, you're just making it worse.
That's why we love this one guy so much, and we've mentioned the name before. And Ben Chestnut, I guarantee you 99.9% of people who will watch this have no idea who the hell Ben Chestnut is, and they're going to have to go Google him. He's the guy who started MailChimp. Why do you not know of him? He's a multi-billionaire. Because he's got no scandals. He doesn't say stupid crap just for the hell of it. He doesn't need these platforms to go out and say outrageous takes and just be crazy with his stuff. He has his morals, and he stuck with them from day one with him and his business, and that's what got him to where he's at now.
And what's crazy about that is he likes to help people, because I see he's got a foundation in Atlanta that supports like local businesses. I mean, he sold MailChimp. He's multi-billionaire, so he can do whatever he wants. And I guarantee you he knows exactly who the scammer is when he looks at them, right? It would be nice to have someone like that basically call them out, you know, because like he likes helping people. Why not help save other people? And he's got kids too, right? He probably doesn't want them being influenced by scammers and the drifters, gurus, whatever you want to call them, right? So it's like, I think people like that could do a lot because they have such a huge voice, such a huge influence, right? If you say you're a billionaire, everybody's going to listen to you and what you have to say, right? If you're a good billionaire, because there's some of them that are no better than...
I'd say most.
Probably most, right?
I'd say most.
But yeah, then there are some that are genuine good people that just happen to make their money the right way, had a huge company that, you know, people loved like his, and well, someone bought it, right? So it's like, yeah, but that's a whole different topic. Maybe one day we'll bring folks like him on to like talk about who we think is a scammer and what he thinks and things like that. Because there's a lot of them, man. There's so many of them like out right now on social media that it just drives me crazy.
I'm sure there are people who would look at us and be like, they're not any better than those scammers. We're not scamming, but they might be like, well, now you're using a platform to get views by bashing other people. But sure, If that's what you think, you have every right to think that way. But what we're trying to do is educate and show people that with the fast times of social media and how everything is screen time and holding you into watching and showing what the next cool big thing is, more and more of these people are going to pop up.
Right.
They're going to get another idea, and it's just recycled. Every 4, 5, 6 years, it's the same bleeping crap that was done before, just now potentially in a new industry, or it's just the same stuff and it's a new face. That's all it is.
That's what happens.
It's just regurgitated stuff over and over in cycles.
Yeah, I mean, well, once you get exposed, that's it. Yeah. It's done. The next guy has to pop up, and he just tries to figure out, she tries to figure out how to do it better, right? And there's, scandals like that absolutely everywhere, right? Like, what was that person that scammed? It was like a robot or a machine. She became like a billionaire or something. She went to jail, I think, for it. She had like presidents endorsing this stuff.
It was a healthcare company that was looking at blood work. I think Holmes, Katie Holmes, not
something Holmes,
yeah,
maybe.
Something like
that.
Yeah, she scammed billions of dollars out of people for her company, and it was all bogus.
Yeah, so bullshit. This is what we're gonna try to fight against and expose. It's not that we want to bash anybody, but do you really want to have people like that around? And if you're not educated about a topic, you're going to fall for it, So like if we could catch a lot of these things and try to prevent people from actually falling for these things
and losing money.
Yeah, then I think we're doing a good thing, because when I look at myself, 10 years ago, 9 years ago, whenever we were in that phase of like looking at these people, I wish someone told me, what we're trying to tell people now, right? So it's like, because there is nothing, I think, worse than trying to actually take so much money from a person for nothing, Like, I mean, look at these funnels that like people in that industry are building, specifically certain marketers. Like, it's just, in their head, they're so sold that, they're becoming a great marketer because the guy that they were learning from was teaching them, It's like, if you could suck out the most money out of a person, you're doing a good job, right? Like, that's the stuff that these people will teach you. And in your head, you're motivated because you just successfully took $10,000 from someone, 20,000, whatever. And you're like, hey, my mentor just told me this is what I was supposed to do, right? They did it. And now they're teaching another person to do it, right?
It's a pyramid scheme. Their funnel is to teach you how to do what they sold you on.
For the most part.
For the most part.
But like, going back to Tai Lopez, so that was like kind of his beginning with the dating. Then it was the marketing stuff that he was doing, where he had the mansion and everything, and everybody was listening to this stuff. I mean, we were listening to this stuff.
And the book club, the monthly book club, where he like sent books and stuff.
I wonder what happened with that, because that, in my opinion, that was a pretty solid idea.
Yeah.
From a business perspective, I think
the books, at least
the books. Yeah, I think that was a pretty solid idea, where he was. What was he doing? Like $1 a month or something. You get some books that you get to test out or read. I mean, the $1 was to get you in the door. Then the price probably goes up to like $20 per month, of course.
Yeah,
so
it was his book club. Like whatever he said was the goodbye that month, or whatever you should read.
Oh, okay, so something like that. So that's a pretty solid idea. I wonder if that went anywhere. But out of all the things that he had going on, I mean, that sounded pretty good to me. But just knowing his history, it's like, did he actually try to make this company good, from how a company should be good? Customer service, like delivering what you promise.
Well, no, because what he was, if you remember from what he was doing then, from the 18 hours a day that he was on awake and recording, he was in this mansion basically partying with his security and these girls that he would bring over, and that's all really it was.
Right.
It was just, and then taking him and one girl go in the Lamborghini, and then two other girls take the Ferrari, and then his security follows in the G-Wagon or whatever, and they're just going from restaurant to restaurant. And like, at what point, like, are you gonna do your business? Like, where?
I mean, that was
the business.
that was his business.
That
I
was
guess.
his business. So, but where did the money come from initially?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll never know. Maybe he'll tell us, but usually when you ask, nobody answers back, right? It just, you let the story go.
Keep going.
Yeah, so I mean, that I don't think we'll ever know unless some information's already out there. But yeah, I mean, where is he now, right? Like, I mean, to me, he was a good marketer. Like, I'm not gonna lie, he was a good marketer because he would take the practices, he would know the trends, like the business practices. He would combine the trends and the business practices. He just used it in not so ethical way, how I would put it, right? But after all those things, he did. What did he do? Oh yeah, he bought Radio Shack, right?
Yeah, we all know what Radio Shack was back in the day. Everybody, it was the Best Buy. It was for smaller parts, right? You needed specific things. You know, I know they had batteries and other stuff, but it was basically a small Best Buy. Right. And then it just, with Amazon and Best Buy, it just kind of fell away and no more stores. They closed their stores. But he ends up buying the IP for everything, the name and all the everything that's with it, and goes to Twitter. And when he takes to Twitter, he starts posting like a 12-year-old would.
What would get attention, right?
Right. If anybody has followed Wendy's fast food chain Twitter account, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's just absolutely wild, crazy posting. And it was like that.
But I think a lot more.
It was less to do with the comedy side of things and more so to kind of bring that attention back to Radio Shack and be like, well, when you told me he bought it back then, I was like, I thought this company was gone. So I was like, what is the point in him buying this? There's nothing to do. But this was when crypto had that bull run with altcoins and the meme coins and stuff like that. And we didn't really see what he was doing to prepare for what seemed like the end outcome if you go and look back now, right? Which was created a coin.
A crypto coin. Which is like known for like scams. Like this is where so many millionaires have been made through these scams. It's
through the meme coins. Yeah. And he kind of rebuilt the awareness and following into Radio Shack. And then miraculously this crypto coin comes out. And then what happens? Money goes in.
Yeah, he probably promoted the hell out of it.
It all went away.
Yeah, but I mean, from scammer or not scammer, from a business perspective, I think that was a pretty smart business move in the short term. Like
it was a smart move if you went somewhere with it, right? If you actually had a utility behind the coin and something was going to be used of that. It's, I wouldn't say a good business move. It was a good move to make money, which was unethical.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like for him, the way he already rolls, right? Like
right. If you were scamming people for years before, then it's like,
Yeah, he doesn't care about the reputation. He already knows what people are saying. Like to him, it's just like, will someone else fall for another thing and make me money, right? So like to buy Radio Shack because the name is already so big to people that are probably even older, right? That don't even know what crypto is. Like, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, Radio Shack is tweeting. They get like a huge shock from what is happening on the Twitter account, and then to move that audience over from, that to buying the crypto coin and making, I don't know how much. I think I read today actually before we shot this episode that like they were doing like $40 million in volume, which I mean $40 million. I don't know what they were doing. I mean, if I had to guess, obviously selling their shares and unloading while people were buying at the same time, because that's how the scams work, right? Then, yeah, I mean, he probably made a couple $1 million off of that. So,
And then what? Radio Shack got sold May of 23.
yeah, I mean, it's not clear to who, though. He might have...
Well, from what I did a quick Google search, the company that bought it is in the Bahamas, and the CEO isn't Tai Lopez. So... he very well could still be a part of that group, or he basically got what he wanted out of Radio Shack,
right, and
found a buyer, and still got money back off of the name and the intellectual property that is with Radio Shack, and pieced out and is now scheming his
seeking the
move.
next trend, right?
Yeah,
what's gonna happen? But I mean, man, is that
which
the way
I
to
hope
do?
To God, he doesn't come into the service business space. This guy needs to.
He probably will. I mean, if he
stay
sees
away.
that it's trending, because that is what's trending now. Yeah, he'll probably start scamming. He'll be like, oh, I'm a professional landscaper or something like that. That doing this and that, and let me teach you how to do it. It's like, oh, it's probably coming. If not this, then whatever else is trending. AI. Oh, he's probably building an AI machine right now of some sort. But yeah, I mean, that's just how they roll. So
I wouldn't pay this guy to clean my pool.
well, he's too well off probably to clean your pool.
That's the thing. I would love to really know how much this guy is worth.
Yeah, I mean, but even if he is, who says that he's not going to be found guilty of something and it's all going to go away? It's
Absolutely.
like that's what happens to a lot of these people, right? There was another guy that. Kevin David was his name, I think. Maybe he was like huge on Facebook a couple years ago. And I would get hit with his ads and I would be like, there is no way. His claims were like, and this is kind of how you can tell that something is off, especially when you've been in business for a long time, that it's like, this is way too good to be true. Like this lady, this is an example. Like this lady made, $200,000 in the last like 12 hours while she was sleeping or something like that. And she just started yesterday,
butt.
Like these are the claims that this guy was making. You watch his video, that's what you're seeing. So I'm in business and I'm like, yeah, there's no way. I got to learn a little bit more about this guy, And every time I would see these things, I mean, I don't want to waste too much of my time looking at these, whatever they are, but you're curious. So you take a look into it and then they're on your radar. Well, a couple, I think maybe 2 years later after he already scammed, I think it was like $20 million worth out of people. I think he got caught and he owed all of it. Like he had to pay it all back and then some. Maybe he's on like house arrest or whatever. I'd have to look it up. I mean, people could look it up. It's Kevin David, I think was his name. And yeah, so it's like, it's not to say that he's not going to get caught one day. Maybe he already has, and that's why he stopped doing the other things. Maybe he's in something else. I mean, you never know. It's just, man, I'm telling you, when the red flags are screaming at you, like, oh, it's there. Something's off, And but they were screaming the whole time with Tai Lopez, right?
Yeah, I mean, they were clear as day, but he was still shared everywhere on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. He was...
Well, by people that don't know any better, Or
but even people who were like, let's say you were hypothetically a big fanboy of his and you're 16 years old and I'm 16 and I see the red flags and I'm telling you, he got people so convinced, like, he can't be a scammer because he's got this giant mansion in LA that's tens of thousands of dollars a month in rent, and he's got a Lamborghini and a Ferrari.
Yeah, they're very
like,
good at making it look
right. And he lived there for a couple years. Like, how could he be a scam if he has all these things? You're just jealous. Like,
oh, absolutely. I've never been jealous of anything like that. But
right. It's just too much. And that's how you could say he was a good marketer, because he conned people into believing his crap.
yeah, I mean, after the scam took off, where he was selling these courses and whatnot, I mean, he made a lot of money. Because I mean, given it could be not true, because I watched an episode where he was saying how much he made, and it was like, I think it was a crazy number, but if I had to guess, it was somewhere like $50 million from what I remember he said. So $50 million, that's a lot of money. He could definitely afford that place and keep going with the scam if you made that much, right? And I don't think he was lying about that part, because when he came out, it was new, you know? So it's like, not many people were talking about how to make money, right? So if you're the first one on social media, everybody that wants to make money, they're going to you, right? Because they want to know how to make money. You're the guy that's clearly showing how much money you've made. You're selling the key to success. Like, they were paying to be, you know, in his courses, in his webinars, whatever he has. But I mean, yeah, so I mean, that's probably how he afforded it after a while, but who knows what happened after. Clearly he used those profits to buy Radio Shack and whatnot to continue the scam going bigger and bigger. But I mean, these are just, in my opinion, not the way to do things.
100%.
Right. So, yeah. Do you have anything else to add about Tai Lopez in your opinion?
I mean, I feel like I could go on for days talking about him, but it's just a waste of breath. Like, Google his name, look at his background, see that there's a lot of big, I would call them holes, missing in his story, and do your due diligence, you know,
Right.
and see what you think, because this is what we think. This is what we've experienced with him. This is not fact. Like, we're saying 100% fact this is true. It's just our experience, right? So, again, go look, do your research, and take this as another lesson into whoever pops up next on your feeds, whether it's social media in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever it's called.
And in the comments, if they have someone in mind that they want us to discuss, I think it would be cool to like share it so we could look into these things, you know?
Yeah, if you've
Because
got,
there's a lot of scammers that are not even on our radar, you know?
For
'cause
sure.
There's just so many of them.
so if you've gotten scammed before by anybody, leave us a comment with their name and we'll do some research and possibly do an episode on them. Or if there's somebody that's big that you would want us to do an episode on, drop that name and we'll take a look, and going forward we will we'll give our opinions on those people.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, so you buying anything else in the future from Tai Lopez?
I want to buy a Snickers bar off that guy.
All right. Well, there you go.